Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome to all of our witnesses. This is going to be a very useful, productive joint hearing this morning. As you know, and as the chairman said, the Workforce Protections Subcommittee held a hearing on this very important issue of this classification of workers as independent contractors in March. Seems like just yesterday, right, Mr. Chairman? And we are really pleased to be here with this joint committee because we're going to continue to look at the issue. It became more important, not less important, after our first hearing. Today we will have the opportunity to hear from the administration, and we'll hear from others also about this serious problem. And it is a problem that hurts our workers, but not only our workers, but also honest contractors and all of society, as states and federal governments lose billions of dollars in lost revenues by this misclassification. After the last hearing, Mr. Andrews and I wrote a letter to Department of Labor asking for information about the misclassification. We got the department's response. It was just a little over a week ago, in time for this hearing. Thank you. And I'm pleased that Mr. DeCamp is here to present answers to the questions that we asked. But I have some very serious reservations about whether the department is really dealing with this problem in an adequate manner. And what we need to find out today is, if the department can't deal with it, what does the Congress need to do to make it possible for the overreaching agency to do the right thing? And at the outset, I'd like to say that there are true independent contractors, and this is not about them. Nobody questions that. This is about the countless workers who are really employees but have been deliberately misclassified by employers because those employers want to avoid the costs associated with an employee, such as workers' compensation insurance, payment into Social Security, and Medicare systems. The number one reason that employers deliberately misclassify is to avoid paying workers' compensation and otherwise avoid workplace injury and disability disputes. So if a worker gets seriously injured, and make no mistake, this practice usually affects mostly low-income workers. There is no income that he or she can go to and when they can't work. And there's likely no health insurance to help with the medical expenses. But the employer lowers its costs. In the fact of Mr. Wade Horn, a contractor who testified at the hearing in March, said that when companies misclassify their employees, they expect to reduce their labor costs between 15 and 20%. In March, our witnesses were principally from the building trades. They told us how widespread miscalculation is in that industry, but we know for certain misclassification occurs across a wide range of industries. For example, Representative Stupak, chair of the Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigation on the Energy and Commerce Committee, has been investigating the widespread misclassification of jockeys as independent contractors. I'm very glad that Mr. Williams is here today to testify about his experiences with FedEx. My own state of California is waging a battle against FedEx's practice of misclassifying its couriers as independent contractors. And in the year 2004, the California Employment Development Department issued a payroll tax assessment of $7.8 million against the company. And they did that because it failed to pay payroll taxes for appropriate employees. In California, misclassification is an enormous problem, but we're an enormous state. The California Insurance Commissioner has reported that 30% of employers in the state do not carry workers' compensation insurance, and that one of the sure signs that those employers' workers are being treated as independent contractors. This problem has so concerned my state that there is a bill in the Assembly, State Assembly Bill 622, which is, if passed, will make willful misclassification illegal, and it will assess penalties of up to $15,000 per violation and up to $25,000 for those employers who have engaged in a pattern of practice misclassification. Our very own Attorney General has started a program to protect vulnerable workers from unscrupulous employers throughout this process. But unfortunately, other states are having problems with misclassification as well, and it is a national problem. It has far-reaching consequences, and I have great confidence that we're working to find out why we can't do something about it. But first, we have to find out what we need to do about it.